It was 1983 cardiac pack, and the guy that it's still we should have the poll. We should put a poll out there that said was it a shot or was it a pass? The last part of the game. But the 1983 NC State Wolfpack
was shots turned into passes.
It's always a pass. Let me straighten y'all out right now. Because you two, y'all getting crazy.
The voice you hear, a friend of the show. ACC great.
Yeah, man.
Just guys doing so much for so many people with all this work. Happy to have Mr. Dereck Whittenburg up in the building. What's up, D? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man, and it's nice being with K-Mac and Reese on the Sports Shop Showtime. Time to roll this morning on Throwback Thursday.
That's what I'm talking about. We got to get you on more often, too.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, every day. One day free, the other day you got to pay. You got to pay the second day.
Oh, man.
I like your style, bro. I like your style.
Man, we happy to have you on. We have you on also to talk about several great things you guys are doing. But today, I wanted you to come on to talk about a man that you know very, very well, who name is synonymous with basketball history. And let's talk about, as we found out yesterday, the passing of the great Coach Morgan Wootten, who coached you at DeMatha. Talk about your mentor.
Coach Wootten is what an extraordinary man. Everybody looks at him because he was 42 years, not a losing season, 1,274 games. Every kid at DeMatha got a college scholarship in his 42-year reign at DeMatha. He could have coached anywhere in college, and he decided to stay with his family and stay in high school basketball, the first high school coach in the Hall of Fame. But more importantly, he's touched so many lives, not just the coaches and players, numerous clinics around the country. He has the largest camp in the country. It's over 2,500 kids or more in the summertime. He started the McDonald's All-American game with John Wooden, the great John Wooden at UCLA. And the man is just a pioneer, and he's touched so many. It's not a coach in the country at every level that doesn't know Morgan Wootten in every sport. And Bill Hayes and I from Figure Eight Films about 3 years ago did a film on Morgan, and we entitled it "The Godfather of Basketball" because he's got a connection to every coach. Very good friends with Dean Smith. Obviously, had a great relationship with Mike Krzyzewski and Jim Valvano. But if you look at every coach, he's been touched and it has a influence. His philosophy was, the God, family, education, and basketball. And when he talked to us about playing, he never mentioned the word win. He only mentioned the word character, playing hard, being a team, and process. He never would. Winning was the byproduct, and we just expected to win. I only lost 7 games in high school, guys. We were we was undefeated in my junior year, 1978, 28-0. And won Morgan's first national championship. So NC State didn't know this, but I had already won a national championship game there.
So you was used to it already.
So before the shot,
when the shot went in, they just we was excited but not surprised. Wow. If you looked at a lot of guys, we wasn't surprised because of my experience at DeMatha, we had been there.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so and it was easy for us to embrace it.
We're talking Dereck Whittenburg, who played for the legendary coach Morgan Wootten. What did he do to convince you to go to DeMatha? What his recruiting?
Well, back then, probably before you were born.
Definitely.
In our time back then, it was a privilege to have an opportunity, not just to go to DeMatha, but we was thinking about getting a scholarship.
Yeah.
If you got a scholarship back in the 70s, that was big. a scholarship to college, and let alone going to an ACC school.
That's true.
Because,
That's true.
the Saturday morning Jefferson Pilot ACC.
Yeah, game of the week.
Game of the week, man. Everybody was sitting there watching Phil Ford in the damn final in the four corners past everybody. He shoot every ball. That's how he became All-American. And you're watching the great David Thompson. Everybody said, well, how Phil Ford become an All-American? Well, he four corners, he passed everybody, Phil shot the ball every time. but it was about the ACC and just what a time. But back then, man, I was excited. Getting into DeMatha, I said, man, I got a chance to get a college scholarship, and that was big. My family was the first in my family, my first generation graduate.
Wow!
So I'm the first in my family to go to college, and it was just what a great moment, great accomplishment going to DeMatha.
We're talking with the great Dereck Whittenburg from NC State, and we're talking about Morgan Wootten, who just passed away yesterday. Yesterday, and we're talking about his impact at DeMatha and what that actually meant to basketball. Talk about when you actually played at DeMatha. Did you feel, or was there a feeling that you guys were a part of something, part of history, basketball history, when you were playing at DeMatha?
Well, you were playing for a great coach,
right?
But more importantly, this iconic figure that everybody, a lot of the kids in the area wanted to go to DeMatha.
Right.
So if you got into DeMatha,
that's true.
You doing something.
Yeah, exactly.
But now here's part of his philosophy. So I could have went to any high school in the country. Back then, you go to junior high school to your 7th grade, 9th grade, and then 10th grade you go to high school.
Right. Okay.
So I was sought after. Sidney Lowe was the best guard in D.C. in his 9th grade year, and I was considered one of the best players in Maryland area in the 9th grade. And so when we both got there together, we didn't even start. So Morgan's philosophy was, it's not important that you start, it's important that you finish the game. And most people, the kids today, if you don't start as a freshman, they're not coming to your school.
Exactly.
So
wrong school.
We didn't start until we were seniors. That's unheard of. But
until you were seniors.
Until we were seniors. So it's taught us discipline. That we had to be a part of the team. Now, we finished a lot of the games, but we didn't start a lot of the games. So it taught, when I got to state, I was in shell shock if I didn't start right away.
Right.
I was still ready to
because
play.
once you got the call to get in the game,
once you get in the game, you usually stay in the game. So what's the thing about starting? A lot of these kids come from high schools when they've been a star, they can't handle that.
Right.
When they get to the school, they're not the star. They're not starting. They're not scoring all the points. What am I supposed to do? They're going to transfer.
Exactly.
900 transfers in Division I.
No, seriously, every year.
Every year, 900 transfers.
The portal done turned into like the Census Bureau.
Yes.
It's about 5 million people in it.
That was the difference back then. You learned discipline. And besides, people don't talk about this. So Catholic school, you have to wear a coat and tie every day. You learn discipline. So I think you learn.
So you just said
those
something. I didn't realize DeMatha was a Catholic school.
Catholic school,
Okay.
old boys school.
Wow.
No ladies.
Wow.
That was
I couldn't have survived that.
It's kind of sad sometimes. for about 6 hours, you don't even see a girl, but unless it's the teacher,
Hey, look, I was
But that's the discipline part, right?
That's
so
right.
no girls, no distractions,
Right.
And you went there to study and play ball.
Wow.
And I lived across the town, so I drove about 15 minutes across the line because DeMatha is right on the D.C. line, roughly.
Yes, that's right.
On the D.C. line. So drove over there every day, and when I came back, by the time I got back home, man, I had practiced, studied.
That was
I went back home, and that was it.
That was it. Time to get ready to go the next day.
Yep, next day.
Are we talking to Dereck Whittenburg, a product of DeMatha High School and coached by the great Morgan Wootten? You are one of many that traveled down to NC State from that school. Talk about some of the other guys.
Kenny Carr, who was on the 76 Olympics, great player for us.
Yep.
Played with David Thompson, played for Portland Trail Blazers for a long time. Great player. He was the first to break the barrier.
Okay.
We tried to get Adrian Danley from Notre Dame. But he was down to Notre Dame from DeMatha. That was unusual. But Adrian went down to
a great player.
A great player.
Yeah.
And then Hawkeye Whitney came
yeah.
and then Sidney and then Benny Bolton,
Yeah.
and Quentin Jackson,
Yeah.
and Jordan Collins, and then B.J. Anya. So we've had some great players from DeMatha that's come to school there. We should have got Oladipo, because Oladipo's family, they went to school because of me. They went to DeMatha because of me.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So we should have got Oladipo, who's now with Indiana Pacers, which Nate McMillan coach.
Yeah, exactly.
And T.J. Warren
is playing there. Yeah.
I was part of that recruitment too. T.J. Warren, we finally got him back.
He all up in it. Make it happen.
I'm finally back in the recruiting game. But I actually coached Nate McMillan. That's how old I am, coaching Nate McMillan. I'm saying I'm coaching two guys in the NBA, T.J. Warren and I coached Nate McMillan. And for them to play on the same team, what a special time.
Oh, man.
Hockey is for everyone. Join us Sunday, February 16th at 4 p.m. as the Sports Shop presents Community Day with the Carolina Hurricanes as they take on the Edmonton Oilers. The opportunity to experience a Carolina Hurricanes hockey game is one we should all enjoy and not to be missed. The Hurricanes in the Sports Shop with Reese and K-Mac would like to use this night to engage people of color and provide up-close, exciting, and entertaining experiences for all while enjoying the game of hockey. We're planning a special night of events and would love for you to join us. You can purchase discount tickets at canesgroup.com/sportshop. And stay tuned to the Sports Shop where you'll have a chance to win tickets to this special night.
Hey,
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, you ever been to any Canes games, D-Witt?
Yeah. You gonna be on the ice with us, man?
Well, let me explain something to you.
Talk to me.
Okay, the Hurricanes.
Talk to me.
So they ain't going to playoffs in how long?
It'd been 9 seasons before last year.
Yeah. So the new owner comes in.
Yep. Right.
They go to the playoffs.
That's right.
Now I'm on the crank. I'm 7-0.
Right.
On the crank. 7-0. Now I was with them when in the 9 years they didn't go to the playoffs, and I'm cranking it up for them. They call me in when they need a big win. All of a sudden they go to playoffs. I can't get a call. I can't get a call.
I knew. I was where it's going.
All these new guys. See, everybody want to jump on the train. When it's going good. I'm Hurricane. I was with him for 9 years.
Cranking that thing.
Cranking. Come on, man. I believe in you. I'm going to stay with you. And then all these new people, everybody want to jump on the train after they start winning. I love Brendan Moore from day one. Not 9 years. I always love Brendan Moore.
I think he answered your question.
What's up with that, Canes?
Wait, no, we're going to get into more of that conversation.
You got to join us on the 16th of February.
That's right.
You do know we did it last year.
That's what he's talking about. He's talking about y'all.
I'm talking about you
Hey,
too.
don't worry. I didn't want to bring that up.
You're part of that bandwagon. Okay, all right.
Your voice you heard is definitely the great Dereck Whittenburg, who's rocking with us, man. Really talking all things ACC, but in particular, specifically, we're talking about his former coach and mentor, who we lost yesterday. Morgan Wootten was 88 years old and first high school coach to be in the Naismith Hall of Fame, and he coached Dereck he also coached Danny Ferry. Did Danny Ferry go to school?
Absolutely.
That's
Danny Ferry went there.
Yeah.
Mike Bray.
Mike Bray, yeah.
Mike Bray went there too.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mike Bray went
coach
there.
Of Notre Dame coach right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Notre Dame coach.
Wow.
And Danny Ferry was an outstanding player.
Yeah, he was.
And Mike was Coach K was just getting this program together for Danny Ferry to go to Duke that early, and they hadn't established themselves, was huge. And I give Coach Brace, his assistant, some credit for that, having that DeMatha connection. But there's been quite a few players in the ACC that came from DeMatha and that's played on the Morgan.
Would you say DeMatha is similar to the Oak Hills and schools like that?
Oak Hill is more of a prep school.
Okay.
So guys go there kind of like for 1 year after their career to improve on the grades or whatever. And Oak Hill's got a great program, but they kind of on the prep school side.
Gotcha. Okay, makes sense.
But DeMatha is, we got a slogan that's 38 high schools, but there ain't many DeMathas. 38,000 high schools because, but there's not many DeMathas.
I mean, the name when you say that, you think about great players who came out of that school. So.
A lot of great players. Our football program is really good. We got the band. The school all around is a very good school to go, not just for sports, but academically in the discipline.
Were you surprised that Coach Wootten never coached in college?
I was surprised. I think there was one opportunity after the Lynn Bias tragic incident at Maryland in the 70s. I think there was an opportunity there. He lives 2-3 miles from DeMatha, his house. I mean, I'm saying from University of Maryland.
Okay.
And I thought that opportunity, he looked at it, and they hired the first African-American coach of the mega sports, was Bob Wade at the time, who was a high school coach, a very successful high school coach in Baltimore.
Was it Dunbar?
Dunbar, Baltimore. He was the football coach, and he was the basketball coach and the athletic director.
Wow.
And he took the job in November because of the timing of the situation when it happened with the late Lynn Bias. But I think that at that particular time, Morgan was really looking at it. And he might have taken a chance on it then, but if they didn't get him, he was going to stay at DeMatha forever, which he did.
Wow. We're talking with the great Dereck Whittenburg, NC State great. We're talking about the passing of Morgan Wootten yesterday from DeMatha High School. You played at DeMatha High School. You played under Morgan Wootten. You were around. You got a chance to experience all that was, DeMatha and what you guys have accomplished. Give me a little insight into, when you were there, when you were playing, what it was about, and then when you left, did you look back on it and say, man, we really had it good when I was there?
Well, I mean, sometimes you take it for granted when you're younger and you're going through experience, and not you didn't appreciate it much, but you really was in the moment. You were doing what you're supposed to do. Right. I always tell kids, do what you're supposed to do before you do what you want to do. That's right. So at DeMatha, you did what you're supposed to do. You go to class, you be a good teammate, you play hard, and everything's going to work out. And then once you get out, the funny thing, and I coached for 32 years, and always confided in Morgan. And so a lot of my coaching philosophy was based on the principles that I learned from this great coach. And then the special thing, I think, when I did this film, The Godfather of Basketball, we would go in his basement, because sometimes you don't really get to know the coach until you go to their house.
Yeah, that's right.
And I went down the basement. He had photographs of every team he coached. He had photographs of Adrian Dantley from the Olympics, and he had all these proclamations from all these cities and from the presidents, like every president you can think about. I had the opportunity to go to the White House after we won the championship with Morgan Wootten, because we like the first in D.C., 2 guys from Washington, D.C., high school, to go to the White House. And that was a cool experience with Morgan Wootten. I got that photograph up in my office. But when you went down there and saw all these people that he had touched and been involved with, it was just incredible. It was an incredible project. And we wanted the family to own all this footage in his memory. So if something like this would happen, what's going to happen to us all, that this is part of their legacy. So his grandkids and their grandkids will know who their grandfather is, and this, not just a great coach, but this great man who impacted so many.
Morgan Wootten coached at DeMatha from 56 to 2002, and led his team to over 1,200 victories. How do you think he was able to connect with his players? Like, is it the legacy he had already had, or what? What do you think it was?
Well, it's part of, first of all, I tell people all the time, good coaches really have a lot of good players. So he had a whole lot of good players.
That's why Steve Kerr's a good coach right there.
He had a lot of good players. So he's smart in the fact that at a Catholic school you can recruit. So he want to get the best players, but in getting them, he had this ability to make it like a family. And I give you case in point. So after practice, we would go up on the stage like it was a classroom because he was a teacher. Mm-hmm. He was a history teacher. So after practice, we'd go up after practice, and he'd read us a poem. Or he would talk about, this are the things you got to deal with in college. And he would talk about life. And that was very special. And I did that with my teams. I started talking to my guys about, other than basketball. Mm-hmm. So I thought that's what's unique. That's what's missing. We don't today. We don't talk about character and education, and discipline.
Right.
It's everybody going to the NBA. Everybody ain't like Zion.
Yes, exactly.
They ain't jumping around. They ain't like LeBron James.
Yeah, right.
Your son is 5'1". he ain't gonna be LeBron James. Okay.
He can go to school for free, but that's about it.
I always talk about Morgan talked about, although we were good, I always talk about the 99%. The 99% of the rest of the world that are successful in their own right.
There you go.
Everybody's not going to be an athlete. Everybody's not going to be an entertainer. But you could be successful in your own right.
Wow.
And embrace that. That's the kind of philosophy you felt from Morgan, that he prepared us on the court and off the court to handle that college experience.
Wow. We're talking to Dereck Whittenburg, who is rocking with us today, reflected on Morgan Wootten. I want to reflect on him a little bit. You talk about your philosophy as a coach. I think since the last time you've been here, I know at least one Hall of Fame you got inducted to. That was up in New York, I think.
Wagner College.
Yeah, talk about that a little bit, if you will.
That was tremendous. I took over a team at Wagner College in 1999, and they never went to the NCAA tournament. And two, I told the Wagner College they want to induct me in the first ballot, and I said, I want you to induct my two players first, because it wasn't for Jermaine Hall and Dereck Dye, I wouldn't have had no chance to accomplish what I accomplished at Wagner. And then what was special about this group, I took these kids from all walks of life. They didn't have Division I scholarships, most of them. Wow. And I pulled this team together, and I sold them on a dream of education and doing something bigger than yourself. And then on 2003, we became the first team to ever go to the NCAA tournament in their 100-year history was unbelievable. PJ Carlissimo took them to the NIT in the 70s. Oh. But other than that, they had not been to postseason play. And now hangs the banner of an NCAA tournament, which when the Hurley brothers were there, they never went to the tournament.
Right.
And we were still the only one after 2003 in 17 years that have taken the team to the tournament. And here's the biggest accomplishment people don't want to talk about.
What?
For 4 years straight, we had a GPA over 3.0. And I had 6 guys on the dean's list.
Wow.
6 guys on the dean's list at one time.
Wow.
For 4 straight years of 3.0. And here's the biggest thing. In New York City, none of my guys got in trouble. None of my guys got in trouble because I threatened them. I said, if you get in trouble, take your scholarship away, I'm sending you home. So those guys who were getting the first opportunity, they're not going to do it. Say, Coach, serious, man. I said, you better not have your parents come talk to me because they don't know more basketball than me and they don't come to practice. I threatened all my kids, but I taught my kids the basis of actually from Morgan.
Yeah.
We want to recruit good people that played hard, who wanted to be a part of a winning culture, winning program, and we were fortunate enough to do that.
Oh man,
that's pretty
nice.
Pretty good, huh? Well, we're talking with
I'm not in the North Carolina Hall of Fame. I'm in 20 other Hall of Fame.
Wait, hold on, wait a minute. You gotta be kidding me.
Are you from North Carolina
Hall of Fame?
You from North Carolina?
I'd be North Carolina. He lives in North Carolina.
Yeah, we live in North Carolina. I think.
No, wait. Are you joking though?
No, I'm not joking. No,
That's interesting.
I'm not in the North Carolina Hall of Fame. I'm the only 83. Well, Jim Valvano's in, but I'm not in the North Carolina Hall of Fame.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And they came out with their 2020 induction
class
yesterday.
Bobby Purcell.
Yep.
So see, I'm confused about this.
You confused by what?
The fact, because Sam Perkins and I had this conversation one time.
Is Sam Perkins in the Hall of Fame?
No.
Sam Perkins not in the Hall of Fame?
No.
I'm looking at the list now. I don't see it.
Sam Perkins is not in the Hall of Fame?
No. Me and Smooth talked about it for a long time.
How about D. Todd, the first African-American coach, administrator in the ACC? And D. Todd was brought in by Gene Corrigan.
Yes.
And Gene Corrigan,
Yeah.
our new athletic director,
Yeah.
the son of Gene
him.
Corrigan.
Yep.
It's going to be great for us.
Yeah.
But Gene was like the Morgan Wootten of athletics.
Yes. But he just got in a couple of years ago. I don't
Gene
think.
just got in.
We was there for that.
Yes.
Was it last year?
Yes.
It could have been last year.
Yeah, it was
right.
last year.
It was.
Yeah. So Gene was in. Gene's tremendous, and boy, we're excited. We got Boo Corrigan, but Gene was Gene was the guy, highly respected all over the country, and so once you nominate me and but D. Todd, D. Todd,
I know
should be in the North Carolina Hall of Fame. Forget about me.
Yeah.
She should be in the Hall of Fame.
No, you should be there too.
Well, I ain't worried about me. I'm worried about D. Todd because this lady is a pioneer.
Yeah.
She's smart. For back in the 70s, for her to be the first African-American coach and administrator, D. Todd should be in that Hall of Fame.
Well, man. Wow. You just totally messed me up with that one. But hey, let me just say this though, and just can people still get to the movie that you got?
They can. MorganWootten.com.
Okay.
I would love for people to go in there and really download this and see with this great man how he operates. This is an outstanding film. Mm-hmm. You can get on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, Vudu, Real House. You can go on there and download this. It's a actually wonderful film. And we did Bill Hayes out of Figure Eight Films in Carlboro. We met each other in the plane, and I said, we need to do this story.
So, I mean, we failed to mention Emmy awardee right in front of us as well. I failed to mention that, right? Is that true?
Emmy Award-winning film with Survive in Advance. Also produced The Gospel According to Mac, the other 30 for 30 with Jonathan Hawk. And so two. I mean,
we got
30
Steven Spielberg over here. I'm just saying, man.
So you gonna do ours?
Well, yeah. We got.
Because we got a heck of a story.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got a heck of a story. Because let me tell you something. You think D. Todd did something? Let me tell you something. You wait till you hear this story.
Seriously, credit to you. And then you doing just kind of branching out doing that. Do you really enjoy that part?
I enjoy this. I'm in hog heaven. I get a chance to come back to North Carolina to work for my alma mater.
Yeah.
And had those opportunities to work with ESPN, be on the V Foundation board, our foundation. Now I finally found my calling. It's about people, man. Our legacy is about people.
Talk about it.
Helping people.
Yeah.
Being in the community, being involved in the community. And K-Mac and Reese and Whittenburg, we transcend race.
That's right.
Right?
All day.
We win everybody.
Every day.
We got it's like 3 governors right here. There's Roy Cooper, and there's Mac, there's Reese, and Whittenburg. There's 4 governors in the state of North Carolina.
Man.
And we want to help people in every sector of this community.
No, that's
we
true.
love this community. Yeah. We want people to do well. We want kids to do well.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Seriously, that is what it's all about. And you doing your thing. Shout out to you as well, man. Keep on doing what you're doing. We appreciate you.
Let's go Pack.
Let's go Pack.